So we were able to determine that the savings that we have from the decision that we made each month is going to be roughly about $2,000 a week, so it's about $8,000 a month. Plus we also made the decision to get rid of a billboard that hadn't really brought us any business, and that was another $475 a month. So we're looking at $8,500 a month, and that's a really big deal. Not to mention that we had employees on that we were paying an employment tax for, and workman's compensation insurance, and the fuel for their vehicles, and all the other kind of overhead costs that are associated with having an employee. And so that's not even factoring in that. So our true savings is a lot. It really is. Hi, I'm Amy Cheney. My husband and I are owners of Cheney Construction here in Pampa, Texas. We first heard about Clay Staires. My husband actually received a phone call being reached out to by a team member, and so it was something that my husband checked into and visited with Clay. And I was a little skeptical at first because my husband's tried to do things like this before, but once I was able to speak with Clay myself, I thought we need to give this a chance. So my first thoughts when Clay introduced us to the weekly Know Your Numbers system was, no big deal, we don't need to do that. We have a secretary that's an amazing QuickBooks person, and so she enters all of that stuff every single day for us. So we don't need to do that ourselves. QuickBooks will pull a report, that's all we need. We don't need anything else. There's no sense in me double duty. Clay, do you understand how many transactions are in our bank statement every single month? It would take me forever to do. So very resistant, because I thought, we already know our numbers. We already have everything into QuickBooks, and we already know what we need to know, and we can pull a report to provide you with that information. So some of the struggles in being able to complete this action item were getting the want to do it. Once I actually decided, okay, Clay, you can stop asking me. I'm actually gonna sit down and do this every single week, and actually got through it. That was it. Like, I've made that commitment. It takes me maybe 20 minutes on, every Saturday morning to go in and do the previous weeks. Now that I've been doing it for a while, I'm kind of on a roll, and so it makes it a lot easier. So one of the things we discovered when we started looking at the money this closely was that my husband doesn't want to know the numbers, first of all. He pays good money to have someone do that for him because he just doesn't want to know. It's not his thing. And so I had worked for an accountant previous to this, so that's kind of my thing. So for him to be able to sit down and take a look and see some of the things we're spending money on that he probably didn't even realize, or to realize how much we've been paying some employees that were not operating as A players. That was the big eye-opener for my husband. But when he saw the numbers of what we were paying in payroll expenses for two team members that were not operating as A players and hadn't been for quite some time, that was a huge eye-opener for him, and he realized that he needed to take that emotion out of that decision and make it a business decision. So the decision that my husband and I made based off of what we had found while doing Know Your Numbers is to let some people go. So I would say to another business owner that is resisting doing the Know Your Numbers system every week, do it. It's huge. Even if you have a bookkeeper that does it for you, it is worth the extra 20 minutes a week to sit down and go through, and you're able to make those decisions, as well as it's accountability for your secretary as well, or your bookkeeper, whoever does your books, especially if it's not yourself, because if you've not ever had anybody embezzle money from you, then you're very fortunate. So it's really good to have that accountability. We've had that happen in the past to us, and so my secretary's actually even come back to me and said, hey Amy, I really appreciate that you're doing this now, because now at the end of the month, if there's not any money, then you know exactly where the money's went. You and Jimmy have known exactly where the money has gone. So we're not coming to her going, where's all our money? Because that's not a good position for her to be in either. So like I said, just knowing where your dimes are going is a huge deal, and being able to know where to cut back from, that's a big deal, but also the accountability for everyone on your team.